In the previous chapter you may have watched, I suffered with a lower back injury, and as you probably could tell, I was quite gutted from this and thinking it would set me back. Well, I was wrong. As noted in the previous video, I made a full speedy recovery. However, I didn't think the comeback would be this soon into the journey. Let's begin chapter 4 of the race to 400 yards. So kicking things off from where we left off, I started getting back into the gym routine, mainly focusing on my limbs, so my lower body limbs and my upper body limbs being my arms. I didn't really want to do too much around the chest and back area because I didn't want to put any more pressure on my core, and after a couple of weeks of getting used to doing this, I thought it was right to go and see John at the Spartan Fitness Centre. We started off by discussing how I've been getting on the last couple of months because I haven't seen John in quite some time, since pretty much the end of chapter 2, and I must admit I wasn't expecting to see these kind of results. Everything in terms of my ability to be able to lift heavier objects at higher speeds have all increased. That much that I'm now, albeit lifting 180 kgs worth of weight on my trap bar deadlift off the ground. In terms of speed and strength, we're really starting to see some huge gains, with the biggest ones being my first one with the 60 kg trap bar deadlift. So what we tend to do is we'll work from stages, as I mentioned in the last couple of videos. You'll start from 60 kg, see how fast you can do with a trap bar deadlift. So the idea is that the more power and force you put into it, the more you can accelerate. Basically, John has this app on his phone where he can track all this data and connect it to a little, pretty much a box that attaches to the track bar. So going on to the 60 kg, I'm being able to lift it more than twice as fast as I could do 2 months ago, which is huge. It's a massive improvement. And as we start to make our way up to the 180 mark, so the highest mark, I was originally at 0.27, I'm now at 0.39, which is a massive gain. I'm able to lift 180 kgs worth of weight a lot quicker, probably a third quicker than I could do a couple of months ago. And pretty much all the tests we've been doing on this sort of data has indicated that I and John are doing something right. So moving on to the speed training, I found this very easy to get back into. However, I haven't done many swings at all without the golf ball. And the idea is that if I do more swings without the golf ball, I'm not limiting myself to how fast I can swing. Once you put a ball down in the way, John was saying that you're more likely to reduce your maximum swing speed just to make sure you hit the golf ball. And I made several attempts at the longest drive on TrackMan the last couple of weeks at the golf projects where I'm filming this right now, by the way. And a couple of times I was able to tie my highest score at 368 yards. It was getting very annoying. However, I noticed huge improvements in terms of me being able to maintain those longer hits for a lot longer periods of time. I was able to hit more golf shots at almost my maximum, my longest drive yet, as opposed to what I was like a couple of weeks ago where I just max out for 1 or 2 shots and that be it, I'd go back to 330, 320. Whereas now, hitting way more shots over the 350, 360 mark. However, with another session that was unexpected, I was able to beat my highest score. We'll dive into that later on in the video. My swing speed has been relatively similar to last time, so we're talking around the low to mid 130s, with my best being 135 miles an hour. So we're still not seeing that creep up as we want to. However, the ball speed has increased ever so slightly, with my very best being 197 miles an hour on TrackMan. I'm happy to tell you that I beat my highest score, longest drive in style down here at the golf projects whilst conducting a junior golf clinic based on drivers. We all had a go, took part in the longest drive competition. It was great to see the majority of my students in that session beat their very highest score. And it was about time that I stepped up to the game. And I was feeling good, to be fair. I was quite shocked because I didn't do really much of a warm-up. I only hit a couple of shots beforehand. And then coming into this, I thought, hang on a sec, No, I need to keep going with this because I've just got a feeling there's a little bit more in the tank this time. And all of a sudden, thankfully, one of my students, thank you, big shout out to Sebastian for filming this for me. We got it in video for you right now.
That's not it, is it? Go, 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 go! Who is it?
I was able to beat it by just 1 yard, but 1 yard counts as further. I've beat the longest drive by 1 yard. Get in, let's go. God, I've got some work to do. Moving on to my longest drive with a 3-wood, which I haven't done before in the race to 400 yards. It was very nice of Alex from Golf Swing Systems to collaborate with me and set myself a challenge, as he was able to hit a 3-wood 328 yards on Skytrack, and I had that to beat using the TrackMan down here at the Golf Projects. Stepping up to the stage, a couple of shots in, I was able to hit one sort of out the low heel, got that knuckleball, carrying 310 and finishing off at 332 yards. But I'm also happy to say I've been able to beat that since. 335 yards is the record for the 3-wood. Well, massive thank you and shout out to Alex from Golf Swing Systems for taking me on and giving me more content to post on the race to 400 yards. With the drive, I'd like to see myself at the 370 to 380 mark at least next time, because it's getting close. We're 4 chapters in, only 2 more months to go, precisely 6 weeks to go. We've changed the workouts to be able to focus on lifting much heavier objects at speed. So rather than me doing 6 reps, I'm doing 3 reps at a time, but you can imagine how much more weight I'm putting onto things to be able to do this. I mean, I'm doing pull-ups with 30 kilograms of weight on me. Been able to do it with other exercises as well, a couple of the squat exercises, whereas before I was lifting 20 kg, 25 kg, now I'm bringing it on to the 40 to 50 kg mark. I'm doing Romanian deadlifts, the heaviest I've ever been able to do. I was quite shocked actually, because when I put the weight on at 90 kg, because my max I've ever been able to do is 100, I was thinking, hang on a sec, I could go a bit more here. So I put a 10 kg disc on each side to make it 110, and I was lifting it, not no problem, but very, very comfortably, if that makes sense. To a point where I was doing 3 reps and being quite tired afterwards. And when I went down to see John again to work on the different programs that he set me, they're all mainly focused now on lifting heavy objects at speed, but also producing more power and force through the ground. So we're trying to really push ourselves now and see how much ground reaction force we can generate, because the more of that we can generate in the golf swing, the further the golf ball will go, assuming a centered strike, of course. So that's pretty much everything for chapter 4, and I'm really excited to see where these workouts take me for chapter 5. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, lots more to come. We'll see you in chapter 5.